Egunon, hola, buenos días. Hoy nos tomamos un café con el equipo de la película Urchin, una película que compite en la sección Sabaté y Tabacalera en calidad de estreno español después de su paso por el Festival de Cannes y por diferentes festivales a nivel mundial. Y hoy con nosotras tenemos al equipo de la película, al director Harris Dickinson y los productores Scott O'Donnell y Archie Pearch. Hi, thank you for being here and sharing the film with us. We are going to start from the beginning of the film for the three of you. I would like to know when did you decided or knew that you wanted to do this film, and when did you came on board?
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 years ago. I had a version of the story that was a lot. It was kind of different, and then Archie and I started developing it, and then shortly after, Scott came on, and we all developed it further. And then probably took what, a year, 2 years to get made, financed.
About a year and a half. About a year and a half, yeah, to get fully financed before we shot, yeah.
And I like to know about the research and the writing process of the film, because I feel when I saw it, I thought it was really balanced, because you are talking about a big issue, but then a really particular one about Mike's journey, and you are not too dramatic. You don't lecture anyone. There's humor, pop moments. So I think this is really easy to say and to think, but then to do it really and to write it and then to like work it with the main actor. I would like to know how was all that process.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think what was important, and maybe I didn't necessarily know what the end goal was going to be. I think the way we started out the script was very much from a point of view of like investigating the sort of social themes around it, and working closely with different advisors. Like we really welcomed in a lot of opinion from people, and I think that uh, enabled us to feel uh, like super stable and assured in the subjects that we were trying to cover. And then it meant that if we wanted to make a departure from them in any way dramatically, we kind of had the permission to, because we weren't we weren't betraying those themes, you know. So we really made sure that we spent time and welcomed in a lot of different scrutiny from prison reform and homelessness and probation and mental health specialists, and then it meant that the sort of the core of the film was really strong from a realism point of view, and then it meant that from there we were able to explore other areas and sort of mechanisms of storytelling without it feeling um, false, you know.
Okay. And how did you, like you were saying this, like these stories are really close to reality, but then you like allow yourself to go really oniric. I don't know if you say oniric. Is that okay? Like
Mm.
dreamy, like
Honoric. That's a good. What
yeah,
do you mean
okay.
honoric?
Like when Mike's has his
Yeah.
thinking and everything is like really like out of reality in some way,
And
and I
what's the word?
oniric, yeah,
Oniric.
yeah, that's really Spanish, I think.
Oh.
Like, yeah, yeah, sorry.
No, no, it's good.
So dreamy, we will say
Dreamy. Yeah,
dreamy.
yeah, yeah.
How did you work like the visual part of this? Because yeah, the balance between being realistic but then combining it with this kind of like more non-realistic sequences. And how did you work with the cinematographer too?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think a lot of it was honestly like I love realism, and I love the sort of long tradition of
Mm.
British social realism, but I was also really interested in how we take it and push it beyond what we've seen, and not to say that like it's groundbreaking, but I'm normally, and I think we all share the same opinion, like with filmmakers that we love, that sort of push the envelope of what is possible in terms of reality, and being more surreal with it. But I think a lot of it was like naivety. Like I'd never done it before,
Okay.
and I think I wrote a script that was probably quite, um, you know, a credit to these guys for not limiting it as well, because they could have very easily said, read the script and said, well, this is crazy. We're not going to be able to do this stuff. but they really didn't limit me in any way. They encouraged it and they made it possible with support and encouragement in a way that was like, okay, if this is your idea and this is the vision, we're going to support it in the best way possible. And I think if I had someone else saying to me, you know, this is stupid or this doesn't make sense or this is not realistic, then I might have gotten self-conscious and um, you know, limited myself with it. But I just felt like everyone on board, including Jose Dea, our DOP, she really got behind the sort of magic of it and didn't at all question it really. Um, and I felt that from everyone on our film. You know, they embraced it and pushed it to the best it could possibly be on the budget that we had. You know.
But I think you're right because when you watch it, that you can see that like social cinema like tradition, but with another like look, and that's like really refreshing. So yeah, and going to the production of the film, how was to like mm, do like a first feature in this case?
You go first.
Um, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the easiest shoot, and I think we were actually talking about it the other day that, with the schedule that we had and the amount of locations that we were trying to film and what we were trying to, we really wanted to not limit Harris, and the ambition was there. So I think, it was a struggle every day in terms of schedule and money, but um, I think we managed to, yeah, it managed to happen in the end. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a common set of production problems you face when you're doing sort of films of this budget level. You know, they're just that is exactly as Archie said. There's a finite amount of money, a finite amount of time, and you got to just figure out the puzzle of the locations and whatnot. It's quite interesting talking about the surreal moments because, as Harris said, I think we were all on board with it straight away, but we definitely didn't know how we were going to do some of that stuff. And as you were talking, I was just remembering the sequence where we go down the plug hole and then into through the pipe into the sort of core of the earth. And there was a point where we were talking about building like a really long pipe and putting a camera like with Jose
Out to the companies that
we
like
get
investigate drains.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
were
they're
just
like,
gonna try and do as much of that for real until we were just like, this is insane. We just should just do it in post. But yeah.
And I sorry. And you've talked about this like this kind of cycle pattern Mike has, and I think this is something that is really reflected on the editing of the film. How did you work with the editor in this case, and how did the film change in the editing process, if it did?
yeah, we had an amazing editor called Rafael Torres, and he really I mean, he felt like he understood the film from the start. Really, I think that was the key to it. That there was always like challenge and healthy disagreement, but there was never real conflict. And I think that from the moment we started that edit, it was clear that he understood my tone, and the main choices that we had to make was what takes we preferred, because there was always like a difference in opinion on what works, and we didn't do lots and lots of coverage, so it was more about, we had one scene and maybe that scene was shot in one take, or yeah, one wide shot or one, progressing shot, and it was more about watching 9 takes and deciding which one served the story the best. And one minor thing that Frank did could change the trajectory of the story so drastically. So it was really about figuring out how other people responded to it. And I think that's where opinions come in handy sometimes, and sometimes they don't, when it gets too out of hand. But yeah, we were lucky in the sense that the sort of puzzle of the film, it felt like it was there, and then it felt like we just sort of took some things away. Um, we were lucky that we were able to do a day of pickups for some things that we felt were necessary. We kind of begged our financiers to let us do one more shoot day. But yeah, I mean, we were lucky in that sense.
It didn't really change actually massively from the script to the final film. I think, like you say, some stuff was sort of maybe sort of taken off the edges to make it a little bit more concise, but it's a pretty true edit, isn't it, to the script?
And well, you were in Cannes with the film. The premiere was in Cannes. You've been in different festivals. Now you are here in San Sebastian. How do you feel like the festival circuit like contribute to the film promotion and this kind of films specifically?
I mean, we feel incredibly lucky to start off in Cannes, then go to Telluride. There's been lots of others in between, and now to be here. I think it's, we just want as many people to see the film, and, it's all part of our way of getting the film out there. And it's an important subject, and I think it's a real mark for Harris as a filmmaker. So to travel the world with it is incredibly exciting, and yeah, we love doing it. So
It's nice to hear like opinions in a very like an immediate way. Like you don't always get that opportunity to respond and interact with audiences in the way that you do at film festivals. It's like a collective cinema experience where people are kind of bouncing off of each other, and people are really honest, and for good and bad, and it tends to incite this kind of amazing conversation around what people are seeing, what people are liking, what people aren't, and it feels like the film kind of is out of your hands in the best way possible, you know. And I mean, maybe I wouldn't be saying that if people hated it again. Like maybe I would shut up, but yeah, it feels like the film speaks, and then people can respond to that without your input, you know.
So, thank you very much. Y ahora os dejamos con un pequeño clip de la película.
Mike? Hi. So if you do miss a session, you'll be given a warning, and then you'll be given 5 days to provide evidence as to why you missed it. If that proves unacceptable, you'll be getting a warning letter. So 3 missed appointments, and it's a recall, okay? Just so you know that. And we've set you up at a local hostel, one that is connected to us. So tell me about this job.
Yeah, I've got a interview for a chef role in a hotel.
Okay, it's just an interview to start with.
Yeah, just in I haven't got it yet.
Great, okay, when's that?
That's today, it'll be later on today.
Okay, and do you have any family at all? Parents around?
Yeah, it's complicated because they adopted me, so it's a little bit, yeah, they're around and they're nice and that.
Okay.
So where am I staying?
Well, I've set up your Cast 3 for you at the hostel. Just got to double check and give them a call, find out what time they can accept you.
And what about after that?
Well, you've been there for about 6 to 10 weeks, so it's like...
Yeah, sorry, I mean after that, like when I'm done there long term.
Try not to worry about that just yet. Okay, you've just got out, there's a lot to wrap your head around, and we'll put you in touch with local authority and they'll make referrals to housing. But I have to be honest with you, Mike, you're not going to be top priority.